we'll move it to the end, and we can start then with The Bones Under the Skin by Marlene Pardeller. Are you there, Marlene?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Happy to be here.
Great. So, do you want to present yourself and your film to the audience?
Well, hello everyone. I'm very, very happy to be here. I first wanted to say I had a look at the movies in the section and I was deeply impressed by the quality and the content of the movies. So I'm really proud to be in that list. I learned a lot content-wise and aesthetically wise. It was just really, really amazing to watch your films. I'm a filmmaker originally from Italy, based in Berlin at the moment. And in my movie, I tried to look at the continuity of gender-based violence, specifically in the area where I grew up, as it is a huge taboo in northern Italy to talk about gender-based violence at all. Through the process of talking with a lot of feminist groups in Italy, there constantly was reappearing the context of Mexico, and this is why I chose to go to Mexico to have a look at it and to realize how much further the fight there is already, how much it is more spoken about it, and to try to come back with this knowledge to try to understand what's going on in the area where I grew up. So basically, this is the movie about. Yeah.
Great. I have a question for you. Well, you come from Italy, right? But why did you choose, for instance, Mexico? And why did you choose to compare both of them in one film? Or to talk about both realities?
I encountered the topic of femicides in 2012 on a feminist encounter over a weekend in Livorno, and there was Barbara Spinelli. She's a UN lawyer working for human rights, and she was talking about the killing of women in Italy, comparing the numbers to Mexico. And she was trying to make us understand that the violence, the killing of women in Mexico looks so bad through the Italian eyes, but when you look at the Italian situation and the citizens living in Italy, actually the numbers are quite equal of the killed women. And this just stuck with me so much. It was like something I never heard before. And there I started to try to understand better what she meant. And this is why I chose to compare these two countries in order to try to get away of the vision that the violence is outside of our country, or it's a problem of the South or the former colonialized countries, but rather to come to a point to make visible that it's not at all true, that it's something based also within our society. And this I was trying to work out. Yeah.
Thank you so much. For the ones who have questions or comments, later we will open the Q&A. So don't worry, we will be able to go back to your questions. So let's move to the next one here, and it's called The Citizens by the filmmaker Yameli Gomez Jimenez. Are you there?
Yeah, hi, I'm here.
Hey, welcome. So would you like to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your movie?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone, and thank you for being here. And thank you for thinking in residents or the citizens to be part of the film festival Firte Vele. And well, I'm Yameli. I'm from Mexico. I'm a graphic designer and a visual anthropologist. And the film Residentes, it's a part of my master thesis, and it's focused more in the life of two people who were undocumented in the US. and they were working there for more than 16 years. And one of them were deported, and then other one has to force return. And yeah, and it's more about their stories, like how was their deportation, and when they come to Mexico again, and the concept between belonging and citizenship, and yeah, it's basically like that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to ask you if you could explain us a bit more. So you have the two cases of a woman and a man. That's right?
Yeah.
And how do you see the cases in men and women in deportation? Would you say that women are more deported than men? Is there a difference in your investigation that you found?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, there are more men who are deported than women, and there are less women who are deported. But at the same time, it's complicated because the men are deported, and then the women stay in the U.S. and she needs to take care about the children and work there, and then send the money to the guy, or sometimes the guys working in Mexico, they need to send the money. And with the women, it's like they are separated from their children, because the children are there. Sometimes the children are undocumented, or the children has U.S. citizens, but they don't have Mexican citizenship. And it's kind of this part difficult. And at the same time, they target kind of more like men to be deported, because when Trump was in the power, or was president, they target people like so random, and they went to the constructions, and normally men are working there, so they just go there and they just started to ask about their IDs and so it was more common to deport men in this case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. So we'll move to the next film, which is called After the March, by the filmmaker Amy, Kersten, and Tiffany Murray. Are you there? I see Tiffany and Amy. Yes. Hi, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having us.
So would you like to talk a little bit about your film, please?
Sure. Tiffany and I co-directed the film. I was a co-writer with someone else, and then Tiffany was also our DP, so it was very much IDTS. And it was adapted from a true story that then it's sort of like historical fiction, if you will, that we wanted to celebrate the suffragist movement, but also speak to the current climate about the systemic American history is presented to hold the suffragist movement account as well. And then I'll defer to Tiffany from there about the look of the film, because that's all her.
So Amy and I worked in kind of an interesting dynamic where she was like the story director and I was the more visual director. And we wanted this feeling of just total desperation and loss of hope. And so we went with like a really muted color palette and contrasted with this force feeding scene that was super colorful and graphic. And it was a lot of fun to work on the project.
Yeah, and it was all one location and all shot in one night. We had a very limited budget to shoot this in LA, and so we shot it in 6 hours.
Wow.
That's Tiffany. I mean, she's incredible. I talk fast, but Tiffany shoots very fast.
Incredible work. I have a question for you both. Mm-hmm. What did inspire you to choose that iconic character in feminist history?
I'll let Amy answer that one.
Oh, that's actually our producer. It was it was a white British male who wanted to make this film, and his name was Daniel Newman. He's a brilliant historian and dear friend of ours, and he started to become fascinated with Alice Paul, and he had heard the sort of the true story that we were inspired by, and said that would make a good short film. But to Daniel's credit, he was like, I'm a white British man. I'm not supposed to make this film. The women are supposed to make this film. I want to make it with women. So he came to me and we began working on the script together. And then I went to Tiffany, and then also brought that really fill out our voices in the room about how to tell this story. So to be honest with you, I just was so impressed that Daniel wanted to make a movie about Alice Paul, and then was just thrilled that he invited us to join him, and that he sort of let us take the reins. God bless him. So.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you very much. As I said before, we'll open a Q&A later, so everyone that has questions for their directors of After the March, soon will be your moment. So let's move then to our next movie, which is called Parda, and it's made by Brazilian filmmaker Thay Linares. Are you there, Thay?
I am here.
Hi, Thay. So would you like to introduce yourself for the audience?
Yeah, sure. My name is Thay Linares. I'm from Brazil, and I live here in Berlin. Well, Parda is, how can I explain? Yeah, it's a film about not being white, but also not knowing if you are Black. The film asks the question, is there something between being white and being Black? So, but it's not only a film about racial belonging, but also a film about how it is to be a non-white woman in a world that is full of racism and sexism. So yeah, to make this film, this is a film that is spoken in the first person. You probably saw me in the trailer, in the festival trailer. So yeah, as I talk about experiences that I had in my life, and also I try to go behind these aspects of my socialization, of my family story, to rethink what I am or how I feel to be. So yeah, the film, although the film uses fictional scenes in some moments, I consider the film to be a documentary essay, because also these scenes that I use that are fictional, they actually are ways of telling some things that I experienced myself. So yeah, that's what the film is about. But yeah, maybe you should see it, and then
Of course, yes.
you can yeah, think about other things and other aspects that I also try to bring to this film, as for example the fact that I became an immigrant when I came to Europe, and it also brings so much other ways of rethinking what I am than just with my family story, for example. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is a more personal question. You actually mentioned it right now, but I think it would be very interesting for the audience to hear you. So you said you live in Berlin, right? So as an immigrant, how did your identity change? Did you start to see yourself differently? Would you say that your identity changed a lot while living outside of Brazil?
Yes, for sure. Only for context, when I speak about asking if there's something between being white and Black, that is because I come from a family where my mother is what in Brazilian would be considered to be a white person, and my father is Black. So yeah, this is frequent in Brazil that mixed race families exist, although there is still racism, and very frequently inside the homes, inside the families, there is racism. So yeah, for me it was always a kind of, as I grew up not knowing that I was not white, but knowing that I was different from my mother. And in a certain point, I begin to understand, well, why am I different? Well, look, no, yes, I didn't have, I used to straighten my hair, for example, and to a point where I realized that, why am I straightening my hair? So, no, and when I come to Europe, I already had this feeling that, maybe I'm going to a place where there's no question about what I really am, because it will be obvious that I'm not white. And yes, it is, but also, yes, I think there are other aspects that also come to the whole equation. For example, I'm not white, I'm Black, but also I'm not I was not born here. So it also brings some other possible reasons for discrimination. No? And I come from Brazil, and yes, we know that there's a lot of sexist thinking about letting women, and so it's not only feeling that, okay, yes, I'm definitely not white, but yes, I'm a specific kind of person, a woman that comes from Brazil, and that is trying to establish herself in a society that is white dominated and cis man dominated. So I think it's turned much more complex than I thought it would be. It's not only a thing about racial belonging anymore.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Thay.
You're welcome.
So let's move on then, and we're gonna go to the film called Genuine by Cristina Maca. Did I say it right? Genuine, right? No?
Hi, it's Genuine. You said it right.
Genuine. And your name, did I pronounce it right?
Yeah,
Cristina Perfect. Welcome, Cristina. Please share with us a little bit about your film.
So, Genuine is a movie that I shot in collaboration with the film Lara. I saw another one there. And it was supposed to depict a more severe case of transphobia. I am a big fan of depicting transphobia in a genre that is called slice of life. It's a genre that not many people know, but for example, Richard Linklater loves this genre. He does a lot of movies like this, and it's a genre basically without 3 acts. It's just a slice of the life, basically. You know, it has no ending and no beginning. And I think this very voyeuristic nature is something that is very capable of introducing people into very trans-specific topics that they wouldn't otherwise encounter in their day-to-day life. Or many people don't know trans people personally, and this is how I want to bring these topics closer to the people. At the same time, this movie was just deeply therapeutic for me because it literally happened to me. This is basically the movie that I've made so far that is most close to reality, to what actually really happened. And after it really happened to me, I just well, film is like therapy for me, and I just had to do it. I had to write it down, and I rented a little apartment for a month in Marzahn. I shot it there, and I decided to make a one shot, not only because I'm a really big fan of one shots, but also because I believed it really fitted into the nature of the slice of life. So the whole point was to try to make it as authentic as possible, as like casual as possible, and still not being random, you know. Still all the information that is in there is supposed to give little hints at what is going to happen, and what and go deeper into the characterization of the protagonists. And yeah, once again, sorry, I forgot to say, I also saw all the movies like Marlene, and I'm also super proud to be part of this. I'm basically crying every day now because it really hurts my heart to see this movies, but I think it's so important, and it's such a good selection on this festival. It's amazing. Really good work, and it touches me a lot. I really feel that it's so important what we're doing, and I'm really thankful to all the filmmakers that are putting this work out there, because it's helping us taking steps forwards, right? Just have to say that, but yeah, if you have any more questions to Genuine, or yeah.
Yes, we do, of course. And I imagine the audience has as well a couple. But yes, so actually I wanted to ask you a little bit about, this part of the feminist movement, which would be called like radical feminism. And well, they have a special or a specific point of view sometimes of what means to be a woman. So we wanted to ask you like a little bit, what's your vision about this?
Yeah, that's a really difficult question. Well, no, it's not that difficult. It's actually really, really easy. Everybody who identifies as a woman is a woman, no matter what they were born as, right? I never intended to really go deep into women that are against trans women. It's not the biggest issue I face as a trans woman, but since it really happened to me, that we try to move in as a lesbian couple into a place where the woman who happened to be lesbian said that she only accepts lesbians. After we moved in, she told us after the first day when she heard my voice, like, you're not lesbian, you're lying to everybody about who you are and what you are and whatever, you know. So I just had to make a movie about this. But I have to say that women and lesbians and women that don't respect the gender identity of trans women is a problem, but it's not the biggest problem I as a trans woman face. And also another thing I have to say is that Genuine is part of 3 chapters that I have that are 3 short movies which depict transphobia in different stages. You know, I want to start with very subtle transphobia, then go to more severe cases, which is Genuine, where still people might actually say, some people there, I know that some people might say like, yeah, but maybe she has a point and stuff like this, you know. But then chapter 3 is called Transmir, and there I want to like really go to the heavy cases of transphobia where it's undeniable, I guess. Yeah, so all the project as a whole also focuses on other cases of transphobia, and yeah. And what is a woman? What makes a woman? That's such a good question, and I think you could talk for hours about this, but it just comes down to quick answer: what you identify as, you know, no matter what you was born as.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that, Christina. And I also want to add that Christina is going to give a talk, very interesting talk, that is called Trans Female Gaze in Cinema. It's going to be the 17th of May at 7 p.m. You're all more than welcome to assist. Thanks again, Christina, and thank you all the filmmakers for talking. That was super interesting. I just want to quickly ask if Laura, Milena maybe arrived, or we have also another one which was today in this section, Lara Rodriguez, but I think she is not here. Perhaps there.